St. Tikhon's has always been one of the centers of the church. We have different kind of services that we offer, not only through the liturgy, like we say that is celebrated every day, but also through the work at the seminary that the monks have been doing since the inception of the seminary in 1938, when it was founded by Archbishop Arseny, the builder of the monastery. Also, the monks also travel. Some of them do give lectures and give retreats. For many years I traveled with the mission choir, raising funds for the seminary. Also, the monks are involved in different work of kind of upkeep, keeping our repositories and our museums clean, and making sure that the icons are in good shape, and that we're kind of caretakers of all the treasures that St. Tikhon's has. There's so many different kind of cultural and historical monuments that we house here at the monastery. That work is very difficult sometimes, just to kind of the upkeep of the property. We have almost 300 acres. It's not exclusively the monasteries, but it's shared by the monastery and the seminary. So the upkeep of a couple hundred acres of land is very difficult, and all the things that are housed thereon. Monasticism in general for the Orthodox Church is at the forefront of the spiritual battle. It's the front runner of the spiritual life in the church. It kind of plows the way for the rest of the people, the laity and the priests doing the work. The monastics are doing the battle on the spiritual level, whereas sometimes the priests and the laity do more of the physical battling for the kingdom, where they set up churches, whereas a monk, his entire work is consecrated to prayer. And it's through the prayers of the saints and through the monastics who offer their life in sacrifice to the Lord that the Lord bestows his benediction and his blessing upon the work that is done by everybody else. So really, monasticism here is exemplified through the liturgical life that we have here, and through the daily life of prayer that each monastic has in his own cell. The liturgy has been celebrated here almost daily since 1905, so for almost 105 years. The liturgy has been offered up, and it becomes a real source of power. There's such a kind of forward movement of strong, powerful spiritual energy that's blessing and benefiting all America. This kind of power and strength that comes from the prayers here is incalculable, and it's inestimable. The value of it is hard to understand, but really when we begin to understand it, we begin to really kind of tap into the mystery of the spiritual world, which is present among us, but the effects often are not always seen immediately. More recently, we've been involved in work with a candle factory. We have our own candles now that we're offering, hand-dipped 100% beeswax candles that we're offering for the church in America to use for worship. Those are available at the bookstore. Well, St. Tikhon's, we have our own hives, so we produce quite a bit of honey. A monastery is often kind of akin to a hive, because there's always so much activity. So usually when we see maybe different bees kind of gathering, just kind of spontaneously creating a hive at a monastery, which has happened, I've seen before at different monasteries, it's a very good sign. It's a sign of God's blessing upon the monastery. Because, of course, bees are such hard workers, and also there's a sweetness there that comes from their work that we partake of. We've also been doing more work in the bookstore lately with getting some of the publications back on the shelves, doing some different writings, eventually going to be publishing some more work, some new work, some much needed work in the area of translation and anthologies. We publish CDs. We're in the middle of doing different kind of music projects right now with the Orthodox two-part music. There's a website that's available, orthodox2partmusic.org, and all the CDs that go along with that, we're in process with that. So the activities of the monastery are varied, and there's many of them that go on. We also have a parish here. The parish has been here since the monastery's been here, so we have parishioners. We have different hierarchical events that happen here, whether it's the Holy Synod meetings occasionally, or different conferences that the seminary and monastery either puts on or supports or helps with. So the work here is great, and the need is great as well for people to come to help, not only with their hands, but also through their prayers, through their donations, and through people actually coming and living here and giving their lives here as monastics and teachers and workmen in the Lord's vineyard at St. Tikhon's. We recently remodeled some of our houses to enable us to house visitors. These guest houses are open to the general public. Everybody is welcome to come to the monastery to visit for several days if they wish. They just have to contact us by phone or by email, and we are open to their visit, and we'd be glad to have anybody come to visit with us and stay with us, and to find a greater closeness to the Lord, and to really experience the monastery as it is on the inside. And it's important for everybody in the church in America to know that this place is their home. You know, this place is theirs. It's not just the monks. It's our monastery, the Orthodox, all of the faithful in the American Orthodox Church. It's our monastery, and it's a place where all of us can come to stay, to pray, and to be renewed. And so these guest houses are precisely our invitation to the general public, especially the Orthodox faithful, to come to visit with us, to come to receive traditional monastic hospitality, and to know that there is a place for them, that they are welcome at the monastery, that the door is always open, that there's always food on the table, and that all are welcome to come to be with us and to experience our Lord Jesus Christ in His church.
Well, this is a museum which traces the path of Orthodoxy, the journey of Orthodoxy to America. It was established to show the roots of the Orthodox Church in America. This museum was set up by Father John Parrish, and the initial entry point has exhibit of various artifacts, costumes, cultural traditions of different peoples who have came to America, and it represents Ellis Island, which was the entry point for many of the people who did come to America, especially at the end of the 19th century, the beginning of the 20th century, when most of the Orthodox people came to America. The section on Alaska shows some of the artifacts, cultural artifacts and traditions of the Alaskan Native people, the Eskimos, the Aleuts, the Indians. St. Tikhon's Monastery is the oldest Orthodox monastery in America. It was founded in 1905, and it's in the village of South Canaan in northeastern Pennsylvania. The founder of our monastery, St. Tikhon of Moscow, Patriarch of Moscow, and founded this monastery in 1905. His Mantia, when he was Metropolitan of Moscow, is here in the monastery. Similarly, we have vestments from St. Nikolai of Zicha, the Serbian bishop, who was rector of the seminary. The section on showing the celebration of the Lenten Holy Supper prior to the celebration of the vigil service for the Nativity of our Lord Jesus Christ shows what a typical home in Carpatho Russia or in the Ukraine might look like prior to that Holy Supper meal. The family would share together before going to church. If people are interested, and they're certainly welcome, we have this exhibit here because we want to share these things. The icon repository was built in 1995. It was a gift to the seminary by Mr. John Guzzi. It was built behind the old monastery bell tower. It's a collection of icons, 400 icons in it, the collection, many from Russia, many from the 19th century, but there are also some from the 17th century, from the 18th century, and there are also from other countries, from Greece, Romania, Bulgaria, Yugoslavia. There are two icons from Syria, from Dalmatia. There's a Coptic icon. So it's quite a varied collection, and the oldest icon is from the 15th century. There are also 17th century, 18th century icons. One of the items in the exhibit is a gospel book that was given by the first Romanov Tsar, Michael, to a monastery for women in Russia, and that was dates back to 1636. And many non-Orthodox people have come to see the collection because they're interested in icons or liturgical works from those periods of times of those countries, and so they've come and visit the collection, and we're able to introduce them to the Orthodox faith. It's an impressive collection. We've had priests come from Russia, and they've been impressed. They said, other than in large state museums, there are very few places, even in Russia, where we have this concentration of icons. We've had classes from local universities and colleges, and even from high schools, the Russian studies classes or art classes. So it's a resource that people have come, and it's really an evangelical tool in that sense, that many non-Orthodox people have come to see the collection because they're interested in icons or liturgical works from those periods of times of those countries, and so they've come and visit the collection, and we're able to introduce them to the Orthodox faith. So it's best to make an appointment. One would want to come, and so we can arrange a time of mutual convenience so someone could show you the museum and explain things to you.